Hey there guys, good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Time is around 4 a.m. here in Dhaka, so I'm doing some reviews. We had a very horrible day yesterday, a power outage due to storm, very horrible weather, and it was very big struggle. I don't want to go there, but I am a little bit burned down from the yesterday, so finally I could eat somewhere around 3 a.m. I had my dinner and then shower and all that, so all the work was paused. And it was very hot. Even the rain, storm, everything, it doesn't make any difference. Nowadays, weather is sickeningly sticky, so it takes out a lot. So the second episode I'm going to do, first episode I did Paris Corner fragrance. Second episode I want to compare fragrance that I bought a recent bottle of, which is Xerjoff. This is called Naxos, one of the most popular fragrances in the market. In our country, at least, this one gets sold instantly. Anybody brings this, it gets sold. So I'm not going to show you the packaging because it's the same packaging as the previous one that I have. These are like a couple of years old bottle. And you can see clearly they have a little bit of difference in the color, okay? So that's what the topic is going to be. The old batches of Naxos and the new batches of Naxos. What are the differences like? If there's any change in the smell, and if you should still buy it if it's worth it. That's sort of a discussion. If you're not a fan of Naxos, you can avoid the video, no problem. So Naxos basically is, I think they had another bottle, old style bottle from Sospiro. Sospiro was later transferred to Xerjoff. They took over, and I think they're also making Chemi fragrances. So they are all under Xerjoff now. So the older bottle you can get is the better one. Like, let's say you get the oldest bottle of Naxos, that's going to be the best because it's going to have all the good ingredients. It's going to have all the solid performance and like richness. And if you like tobacco, it's going to have that cherry tobacco mix, like in that Naxos old bottle. But these new bottles are also very beautiful. I really like them. I actually prefer this bottle because they look more regal with the cap. So price wise, once Naxos could be had for $150, $160 in Bangladesh, full packaging, full box, because they would bring it from discounters. But if you buy from let's say Xerjoff counter, they're going to cost you over $400 up to, okay? So they're not cheap. So now current market, I think the prices have gone high, and you have to pay around, looking at like 220, like, yeah, around $220, $250. That's the price tag. If you can get a tester, it's gonna be $200 under. So yeah, you are looking at like pretty much $200 for to get an Naxos. And so it is expensive. So the thing is, I thought of it, why should I get a new Naxos if I already have this? Because I'm not, like, I decanted about this much, but I didn't have the heart to decant the rest. I was going to use it, and I was like very happy. And this thing, one of the thing gets compared to Pure Havane, which is also my top favorite. Sadly discontinued. This stuff costs more than Naxos nowadays. Go figure that, right? So I did a comparison between Naxos versus Pure Havane. If you want to see that, you can try. But let's get into that, okay? So let's get into the comparison. First of all, it's very visible. If you can see, this one is more orange-like, this is more lemon-like. But if you see it like that, it looks a little bit dark, but it looks more like a, gray vetiver or some of the other yellow juices. But apart from that, everything else is the same. In the bottle cap says Xerjoff, looks like the same, okay? So the batches are different. So I've been using this for many years. It gives me, like the older batch, that gives me 10 hours easily plus on the shirt. Next day I can smell it. That sort of performance. Very rich cherry tobacco, and the tobacco is very like a masculine, very high class. You can say a little bit more niche version of Pure Havane if you like the 1 EDP. This is a more richer version of those. So I like it. Performance wise, great, right? So how did it get to this juice? Did I always have this juice color? No. You have to understand one thing. When you buy a perfume, they change color over the years, okay? Let's say you can keep a perfume in the box and a shelf, like somewhere in the corner. You keep it for 1 year. You'll start seeing like Lanvin de L'Homme, some of the other colorful juices, they'll change color. They'll become more dark, okay? Is dark necessarily a better performer? It not necessarily, but juice color changes. And what happens, in my humble opinion, they get stronger in general, but sometimes they go ruined, okay? Sometimes the juice color changes means the opening is going to be having a little bit of alcohol. There is a solution to that. I'll show you. So apart from that, I can tell you, if I keep this juice for 1 year, it's going to start looking a lot like this, okay? So juice color, do not worry about it. Performance wise, the new version I tried, I went 5 to 6 sprays. Okay, so the difference between this and the not vintage, this is the older, this is a bit more thick, it's more beefy. Definitely the opening, it gives you more sweetness. It feels like double the power of this one comes off at more fresh, and you feel like it's not weak. Do not take Xerjoff for wrong, like this is gonna give you like 2 hours, 3 hours. Xerjoff is still gonna give you monstrous performance, but not that up to 10 hours mark that you got from Naxos. Okay, it will go up to 7 hours in the initial like few weeks or few months, and it will start getting stronger and stronger over the years. That's what I feel. So it is a little bit more fresh, okay, this new Naxos, but man, the feel is there. It's not just like a shadow of the former stuff. It is pretty strong. Just the opening is not as sweet. It's more fresh. Okay, so I would say go 5 to 7 sprays. It will cover your 7 to 8 hours. Okay, easy. So now I was talking about juice color change. Let me give you some examples just to make it a little bit more clear. Okay, if you are new in the game or you're just worrying, like like what would be some examples. Okay, when I bought this fragrance, this is called Lamal Essence de Parfum, 2016 or 15 release, I think 16. And I bought the very first fragrance bottle in whole of Malaysia, if not Asia. I got it like very early morning. I have a story. Check out my review on Lamal Essence de Parfum. So this thing did not look like this color when I bought this. Okay, it looks something like this. Okay, this is Lebo, but Lebo is a little bit more green. This one I think had more of a purple, blue, dark blue color, but yeah, something close to this. Okay, so imagine that color changes to this. How does it happen? I have no idea. I do not know chemistry. I do not know about science of these things. I'm not a perfumer. I do not make perfumes. So for me, I've seen juice color changes. Give you one more example. This is Aramis, for him, tobacco reserve. This bottle, it's now very hard to find. This juice, okay, was I think dark green color. Okay, if you Google it, Aramis tobacco reserve, it will be very dark green. Over the years, this got like this dangerous whiskey color, right? So this thing changed a little bit in that scent profile, but some of my fragrances became stronger at the same time. I was telling you, the opening gets destroyed. Like some of the perfumes would be CH Men Privé, gets a little bit alcoholic, and CH Men. Some of the brands have this issue. Dolce & Gabbana, Jean Paul Gaultier. These are notorious for going bad within 3 years. Okay, after 2 3 years, they start smelling different. Like they go really bad. So I had this other fragrance. I'll show you. Just Carolina Herrera. This fragrance is such a shame. I had this bottle for a very long time, but check out the juice level. It's here. It's more than 55 ml. And one fine day, I tried to spray it. It has gone bad. I tried changing it. On the dry down, it's still pretty good, but the opening, the alcohol is very off-putting. So I have one solution. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. One of my friends told me, if you have bottles like this, before using, like one day prior to using, shake it like this. Okay, shake it, open the cap, leave it in one corner of your room, in a cold room, cooler room, and then next day try spraying it. It has 50-50 chance that the opening will be okay, or like sometimes it's not okay. It's about luck. So this is what I mean by juice color, just breaking it down a little bit. So juice color doesn't always mean that Lagnidelum is looking darker and then it's like gonna be more stronger. Sometimes yes, but not always, right? Sometimes things can go bad. So coming to Naxos, final decision or verdict, should you be buying this or you should be hunting down the old batch? People ask for at least $50 more, $100 more. Let's say this is 220, people ask for $300 for this. Okay, if they're kind, they'll give you the same price. But is it worth getting the whole batch? I did say yes, it's better, but not at those extra inflated prices. Okay, because if you keep this, if you're patient enough, it's also going to become this one day. So basically, more of the same difference. That's what I like to say. And I think Naxos is still worth it. Renaissance, all the perfumes. One last thing before I finish, you have to keep one thing in mind. Okay, nothing's gonna stay forever. Nothing lasts forever. Even the cold November rain, right? So a lot of fragrance will come and go. Okay, how many you can stock up for life? You can buy the fragrance for 100 years. High likely they're gonna go bad in 2 to 3 years. So what you're gonna have to embrace is what's happening right now. What is the trend right now? Maybe Dior Sauvage will be discontinued at one point. You will not find Dior Sauvage. You look for, a lot of people ask me, can I buy this vintage readily available? I'm like, you can still buy it, but one thing is going to cost you double the money. Second thing is not going to be readily available. So keep that thing in mind, that is it worth getting a vintage? Some perfume, yes, for the sentiment's sake. If you have the money, if you're willing to spend $400 on Gucci Purum 1, it's absolutely okay. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it. If you are willing to pay, if you have the money, if you have the sentiments, if you really miss that bottle, you'll pay, no problem. But in general, practicality wise, I feel you better embrace what's available in the market. Like sometimes you're gonna get Naxos like that. What you gonna do? You can complain to Xerjoff, hey man, one of your Xerjoff bottles, I did not get the Meteor, like that line, right? The shooting star line used to have those fragrances. What are those called? Wooden. Then was the most popular one, Neo, right? So they used to come with a beautiful meteorite, beautiful. I reviewed quite few, but nowadays they don't give. Okay, so yeah, what you gonna do? You're gonna fight with the company? No. So you embrace what's given to you. Yeah, it's perhaps getting less value, more expensive. Okay, that's the game, right? So keep it in mind. If you still feel you don't want to buy it, it's not worth it, it's totally your call. Okay, so I think my personal 2 cent is get the new batch, keep it in your collection, do not rush to sell it. Oh, I did not get performance, I did not get this. If you're that person, you're always going to be ending up in the losing side, in money, in patience, in the game. If you can get partial like this, if you don't mind paying, you can get, no problem. I prefer the older batch, obviously, because it's more richer with the honey. But I'll tell you, the lavender, everything, it will get more mature over the years, and I think it's going to become a fantastic fragrance if you can just wait. But you can, in the meantime, use it. Nothing wrong with it. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching, and let's move on to the last video. Take care.